Hello everyone, this is Stephen Cottam, Director of Catechesis and Evangelization here at Our Lady of Lourdes, and I am addressing you today because it is time once again for our annual Youth Ministry 365 campaign. It's the time every year that I have the pleasure of telling you all about all the great and wonderful things that our youth ministry has been up to in the last year, and also when I ask for your support of what you can do to help keep our youth ministry programs surviving and thriving for another year. So let's get to it. First, the report. What have we been doing since last year's campaign? Well, I'm sure that I do not need to tell you that it has been a very strange and in some ways very trying year. But despite that, our children's, youth, and family formation programs at the parish continue uninterrupted. By May, we had digital offerings for all of our different age groups. Throughout the summer, we started experimenting with all sorts of new types of ministry. We did online ministry, take-home catechesis, we did outdoor events, we did socially distanced events, we had Catholic trivia nights and online rosary campaigns. We experimented with all sorts of different ways to try to make sure that all sorts of people, depending on where they were at in the midst of everything that was going on, were able to connect with our parish in some way. All while we were doing that, we also completed the sacraments for those students whose sacraments, First Communion and Confirmation and others, were delayed in the spring. We completed those through the summer and into the fall. And then this fall, we began another year of catechesis, and we've kept very healthy enrollment, and we've maintained in-person catechesis at a time when many parishes have not been able to say the same. So in that regard, we've been very lucky, and we've been very blessed and very active. At the same time, I would be lying if I did not say that this has been the most difficult, the most challenging year since I have been here at the parish. Beloved events, summer camps, diocesan youth conference, service opportunities like our work camp, they've been canceled and they've been taken away. Social events have been unable to be accomplished in the same way they have in the past. Even kind of simple things like snacks and games, and the ability to have a youth group meeting in person where we can smile at each other without obstacle. All of these kind of fun and casual elements have been stripped away from our gatherings. At the same time, more youth and parents have reached out to me about anxiety and sadness and depression and isolation than have done so in the entire rest of my ministry years combined. It has been a season of many crosses, to say the least. However, I did not become a youth minister because I thought that every season would be sunny, that it would always be fun and games, that every challenge facing myself and our community was going to be an easy one. I became a youth minister because I am convinced, and this last year of time and trial has convinced me once again more than ever, that our young people need the peace, the patience, the inner strength, and the hope that only a life of faith can provide. They need to know that they are loved and welcomed unconditionally, even in the midst of their brokenness and their most difficult moments. They need to know that they are good, that the good that they do matters, that they matter, and that there is always a reason for hope, that there is a light in even the darkest of circumstances. Christ offers this to them. And so it is our job to create places where they can encounter Christ, where they can meet him in the sacraments, in prayer, in fellowship, and in service to one another. Offering these opportunities of encounter with Christ is not just my job or Father Jim's job. It is the work of the church. And indeed, it takes the entire church, the entire people of God, working together, collaborating, and conspiring together in love of God and love of neighbor, in order to do the work of evangelization that makes a compelling case for Christ and faith today. So in that vein and in that spirit, there are three things that you can do right now to help support our youth ministry and to help support our young people as they take their next steps on their journey of discipleship. The first thing, please pray for our young people. Please pray for them. So many people forget our young people today, especially at this time when so many of them are locked behind doors and isolated and out of sight. What we pray for changes our hearts and makes us aware to the work of God in the world, and indeed involves us intimately in that work. So please pray for our young people. Pray deeply and earnestly and often for the good of our parish's young people. Second, be a person of hope. Right now, more than anything, we need witnesses to hope. Our young people have lost things this year. Some small things, like proms and graduations and summer camps, that in the scheme of things are smaller, but matter to them, and it hurts to lose them. But they've also lost big things, like the jobs of their parents and family members to disease. They've also lost more abstract but very real needs like stability and security. This is a trying time for them, and they need to see adults who show them that we are equal to this time and this place, that we have the strength to encounter these challenges. And indeed, this too shall pass. St. Peter says in his epistle, always be ready to give to anyone who asks the reason for your hope. Our young people need witnesses to hope. Please be one. Third and finally, if you are in a position to do so, please consider giving a financial gift to support the work that our youth ministry has been doing and will continue to do into the coming year. On the one hand, costs have changed and in some ways are down. We have not taken as many trips as we normally do. I have not bought as much pizza as I normally do. But there are other costs, real and substantial costs. We've been doing a take-home catechesis program where we're preparing boxes of resources to send home with the families so that they can build up the domestic church. And the supplies and resources that we put in those boxes have a much higher cost per student than kind of the more traditional programs where we just have to buy a video series or a workbook and then the catechist generates the rest of the resources. Additionally, there have been increased janitorial costs. Like I said, we are keeping in-person catechesis, but at this time, the reality of local regulations is that every time that we do that, we need to have a cleaning service come in, and that cleaning is more expensive than it has been done in the past due to the increased level of sanitation that this time is requiring. That has been a very real cost. Additionally, last year we launched the Formed program. So formed.org is a resource, an online video library that is now available to every single person on the parish. If you have not checked it out, please go on formed.org right now and check out the video series that is available and that we are currently using in all of our catechetical programs. Maintaining access to that library is also a cost that we bore last year and are hoping to continue to be able to provide for our families into the future. Last but not least is indeed the travel fund and the student scholarship fund for events because we need to refill those coffers because while events are canceled for right now, they are not going to be canceled forever and the world is going to open up, and when it does, I am going to make up for lost time because I'm going to take our youth group everywhere that I possibly can take them. I'm going to get 2 years worth of trips crammed into a single year to make up for the fact that we did not get to go last year. When we finally get to travel again, we are going to go and we are going to go big. So for all of these reasons and more, please consider giving a gift. I promise that it will go to good work. And I know that not everyone at this time in this place is able to make a financial gift. I know that financial insecurity is at an all-time high. My own family was affected by reduced hours and furloughs earlier in the spring. I know also that this is not the first time the parish has asked a gift from you, and many of you have already given incredibly generously to our community. I know that all of that is true. But some of you may be in a position to give. Some of you may be in a position to help in this way, and if you are, I would ask you to prayerfully consider doing so in order to help accomplish this work that is bearing such fruit in the lives of our young people. As a closing thought, Our Lady of Lourdes, though we are not the biggest parish and we are certainly not the richest parish, we nonetheless lead our region in the low-cost offering of our programs and the scholarships we offer to students. I want to continue to provide the best catechetical programs without ever having to ask a student about their ability to pay or ever having to worry about that sort of financial hardship would ever affect a kid's ability to access any of our programs. So, that's the state of this youth ministry this year. These are the 3 things that you can do. Pray for our kids. Be a person of hope. And if you are able to do so, then please consider giving a gift, a blessing to our programs. Because resources, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, resources don't make a great youth ministry program. It takes love and time and energy and attention from a lot of people. And I will certainly continue to run this youth ministry, even if I have to do so with a shoestring and a thing of duct tape and a Bible I get from the library. But resources help. Resources are a blessing. They let us dream big and think creatively and in new ways. Let us focus on the task at hand, and they allow us all to say yes to our young people when a lot of other places have to say no. So, for your current generosity, for your time and attention, for all you do to make this tremendous community everything it is, the home that it is for me and my family and all of our young people, thank you so much. God bless you, and have a great day.